Have you ever looked around your neighborhood and felt like you were the only one struggling to keep up? You see the shiny new vehicles in the driveways and the social media posts from constant exotic vacations. It feels like everyone has figured out a secret that you somehow missed. But what if I told you that most of what you see is a carefully crafted illusion? Today we are going to look behind the curtain of modern wealth to see the reality that no one wants to talk about. We will explore why even people with high salaries feel like they are living from one paycheck to the next. And more importantly, we will find out how you can stop playing their game and start winning your own. The truth is often much quieter than the noise we see on our screens. If you have ever felt behind in your financial journey, then this message is for you. Let us begin by talking about the houses we live in and the cars we drive. For many people, a home is the biggest indicator of their success. You see a friend buy a massive house with a chef kitchen and a backyard pool. On paper, it looks like they are making a fortune. But the data tells a much darker story. Many first-time homebuyers today are spending 40% or more of their gross income just on their mortgage. That is 40% before they even pay for electricity or water or taxes. When you look at a beautiful home, you are often looking at a large portion of someone's life tied up in bricks and mortar. Their budget is stretched to the breaking point, and their actual freedom is much smaller than it appears. Now let us look at the vehicles in those driveways. Buying a new car is the fastest way to make a lifestyle look more luxurious than it truly is. According to recent data, 20% of all new car payments are now over $1,000 every single month. In fact, 85% of all new cars are financed through debt. Think about that for a moment. That shiny new truck or luxury SUV is not a sign of wealth, but a sign of a massive monthly obligation. For someone making $60,000 a year, a $1,000 car payment consumes 20% of their income. And that does not even count insurance or fuel or maintenance. The effortless appearance of someone driving a nice car starts to make sense when you realize they are trading their future for a status symbol. But the pressure does not just come from our own spending. It comes from a sense of responsibility to the people we love. There is a silent burden that many people in their 50s and 60s are carrying today. Parental support plays a much bigger role in the appearance of wealth than you might realize. A recent survey showed that 50% of parents with adult children are regularly providing financial help to them. On average, these parents are giving nearly $1,500 every month to at least one child. This money might cover rent or groceries or student loans. While these parents want to help their children, many of them are sacrificing their own retirement security to do so. If you see a young person living a high-end lifestyle, it might be heavily subsidized behind the scenes. This invisible support creates an illusion of independence that is not earned. It makes you feel like you are failing because you are supporting yourself while others are receiving a head start. We must understand that social media and selective sharing amplify only the highlights. A perfectly staged photo never shows the months of overtime that went into saving for a trip. It never shows the arguments over bills or the stress of a mounting credit card balance. Most lifestyles that seem effortless are actually the product of debt and money stress. Now we must discuss the most important distinction in personal finance. There is a huge difference between being a net worth millionaire and being retirement ready. Net worth includes everything you own minus everything you owe. If you have a home worth $1 million and no debt, you are technically a millionaire. But you cannot pay for groceries with the drywall in your guest room. You cannot use your kitchen cabinets to pay the electric bill. This is what we call being house rich and cash poor. True retirement readiness comes from liquid assets that can actually support your lifestyle. Data from the Federal Reserve shows that only about 2.6% of Americans have $1 million saved specific. That means only about 2 or 3 people out of every 100 have reached that goal in their investment accounts. The rest are relying on home equity or the hope of Social Security. Being a millionaire on paper is an achievement, but it is not the same as having freedom. Real freedom comes from money that is working for you every single day. Imagine having a portfolio invested in the S&P 500 index. Historically, a portfolio like that could double in value every 7 to 10 years. This is the power of compounding that Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world. The first $100,000 is the hardest to save because you are doing all the work. But once you reach a certain point, your money starts doing more work than you do. Think about the tipping points of wealth. The first tipping point is when your investments earn more in a year than you contribute. The second tipping point is when your investments earn as much as your actual job pays you. This is when you have essentially cloned your income. You have a second version of yourself working silently, without meetings or stress or a commute. And the third tipping point is when your portfolio can support you for the rest of your life. This is true financial independence. But why do so few people ever reach these milestones? It is because we have been trained to value today over tomorrow. The national savings rate has dropped significantly over the last few decades. In the 1980s, the typical household saved 10% of their income. Today, that number is closer to 5%. If you earn $100,000 a year, you are only setting aside $5,000 for everything. That has to cover emergencies and home repairs and your future retirement. It is simply not enough to build a secure foundation. We are also facing the reality that prices for everyday items are climbing. Fast food meals that used to be cheap now cost as much as a sit-down restaurant. Snack foods and branded clothing have become overpriced for the value they provide. We are paying a premium for logos and convenience, while our savings accounts stay empty. But there is a path out of this cycle. The bar to be above average is actually much lower than you think. If you simply invest $120 every month into a basic index fund from age 30 to 65, you could reach $200,000. That is only $4 a day. If you increase that to $500 a month, you could reach $800,000 or more. It does not require massive sacrifices, but it does require consistency. The goal is to stop chasing status and start chasing peace of mind. Real success is not about the car you drive or the labels on your clothes. It is about knowing that your bills are covered and your future is protected. It is about the freedom to decide how you spend your time. When you reach the point where you no longer stress about money, your entire life changes. You stop panicking over market dips because you understand the long-term game. You have more power to negotiate at work or even walk away from a toxic environment. Confidence fuels consistency, and consistency builds. If you are currently in the middle of your journey and it feels slow, please do not give up. Wealth does not grow in a straight line. It bends upward like a curve. The beginning is always grueling and sometimes frustrating. But once you cross the first major milestones, the game speeds up. The second million arrives much faster than the first. The light at the end of the tunnel gets brighter with every step you take forward. Remember that what you see on the surface of other people's lives is just the tip of the iceberg. You do not see the debt, or the subsidies, or the stress underneath. Focus on your own path and your own progress. Celebrate your small victories, like paying off a credit card or maxing out your IRA. These everyday wins are the backbone of lasting wealth. You are building a foundation that will support you when you are ready to stop working. Financial independence is not a dream reserved for the lucky few. It is a reality for anyone willing to be disciplined and patient. Start today by looking at your own numbers with honesty. Decide what truly matters to you and what is just noise. You have the power to take back control of your financial future. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay consistent and keep moving forward on your journey to freedom. The peace you are looking for is closer than you think.